Hello gang. Today I want to show you my updated Bebork and Orksteady for my Space Marine Ninja Turtles. I had an original version of these, just like on my last video. I will put that original video in the description if you want to take a look at what these guys used to look like. But for this project, I decided that I really wanted them to be bigger than the Ninja Turtles, just because they are in the cartoon. That's kind of what makes them a credible threat to the Turtles, is that they're big, brutish, mutants. So, but let's do a quick comparison. So obviously they're not that much bigger than my Space Marine Ninja Turtles, but they definitely have the bulk aspect going on. Essentially, all I really did with these guys is, instead of using the regular orc bodies, I got a set of Warhammer Ogre, like man-eaters, gluttons, I think is what they're called. I'm not super up to date on the lore for ogres in Warhammer, but the bodies seem to be a very good size, very appropriate to maybe an Ogren in 40K. But it kind of bothered me that my original versions were so much smaller than the Turtles. I'm going to actually show you the remnants of my original version, because if you watch my previous video, you'll notice that the head and hands for these are the original version. So I did end up having to hack up my original versions, just because I didn't want to have to buy another orc set. And then, the hair, the mohawk here was something that I had from a Harlequin kit. This rhino helmet was a old Chaos Terminator, so those are kind of hard to get bits. So I just ended up using the ones that I already had. So I'm about to show you the desecrated corpses of my original version. So if you are squeamish, now would be a good time to look away. But here is my original Rocksteady minus the head and gun. Just kind of hack those up. Of course, these are going to stay in my bits box. I'll find a use for them sometime in the future. I think Bebop definitely got the worst of it, since I had to cut off his hands. Just because these wrists that they have those little spikes, which is perfect for the cartoon. Bebop and Rocksteady, personality-wise, fit orcs to a T. Big dumb brutes that love to fight. But you can tell these guys just, especially compared to the Turtles, just a much smaller. And that just didn't sit well with me. So now I can have these guys right next to Shredder and them look, proper threatening. And of course, I kept them on the 32mm bases. The Ogres in Fantasy, and of course Ogrins in 40K, come on 40mm bases. But I just kind of felt like it was funny to leave them on the 32s, because it just makes them look that much bigger and beefier. So that, and the way that the Ogres stand, they were kind of a relic of the old Fantasy days, where you would pack everything into units and they would all be on square bases. So these poses are not super dynamic. They're very, arms close to the body kind of thing. But, if I'm just doing a couple of models, I think that that works. And of course, covered them with grenades, which was perfect, because the Reavers that I got to make the Turtles had a bunch of those grenades, and so I was able to actually add that to them that they didn't have before. So overall, much better. I'm much happier with that. Let's take a look at all of them together. Well, here's the whole collection so far, anyway. Just as a side note, if anybody's got a cool idea for what I can use for a couple of Foot Clan soldiers, I'd love to add just a couple of those guys to this collection. But we've got our Turtles, we've got Splinter, Inquisitor April, Bebork and Orksteady, and Chaos Lord Shredder.